actually allow you to sleep. You're not rush the at the end of the day, spending extra 30 seconds on the toilet when you're with your schedule, I'll let you just go back to the gym after one there and not there. Second line, with healthful conditions such as urine. Now, before I share the two remaining tips for your bladder, I need to introduce gentlemen. Gentlemen, that you will over the idea that we must describe to us. Like, look at that progress. Once we do that, I know it's like going to 7-Eleven. Sitting on the toilet to urinate. When you think you're finished, again, you stand up for 4 seconds, take a deep breath, and then you are going to sit back down. And this is where the magic is about to happen. Because what I'm going to happen is going to be shot. Okay, so once you sit back down, step number 3 is I want you to rock your torso back and forth 4 times. And on the 4th time, you are going to try urinating out the leftover. Think of this like climbing up, moving up to your breath. Extra urine, you can urinate equally. Now, here's how it works. It takes down the pressure, it also allows your other sources to just release. Now, your urine fills your mouth, your urine running voila. Now, you're going to have your hands on your stomach, just slowly walk forward, you're going to walk back, the back of the floor, back to the breath, hold your breath, breathe, and then and out, and then urinate anything left. Remember to be patient and get everything out of the line. After this step is complete, you can now stand up, zip up your pants, flush the toilet, and you're good to go. Now, a few other quick tips to use in combination with the 3-step strategy I just taught you is to monitor the amount of fluids that you consume during the day. My general rule is that you want to drink just enough so that you are not dehydrated. But if you're over-consuming fluids, you're only adding to the problem. Also, pay close attention to the types of fluids you consume. For example, coffee, soda, pop, energy drinks, caffeinated teas, they are all just increased food production. Again, making your bladder issues far worse. And a tip I bet you have not heard of is to reduce the amount of food and snacks that you eat after dinner. Here's why. When you have a snack later in the evening, the sugar that's in that snack, it binds the water molecules, which causes your kidneys to start producing even more urine. And this is likely the reason why a lot of you watching this video wake up 1 to 2 times per night, if not more, to urinate. Swap out your snack for something that does not contain sugar, or just simply stop eating after dinner altogether, and you will see how this is going to affect you overnight. Remember, your bladder issues didn't happen overnight, and you cannot expect them to be fixed overnight. Now, guys, if you're struggling with urine because of bladder emptying habits, things just are not getting better for you. You might even be wearing incontinent pads. I offer a more personalized one-on-one coaching service where I will work directly with you online with soon consultations to create you a personalized rehabilitation program to help you fix your bladder issues so that you can finally move on with your life. Link directly below the comment and Instagram video where you can check out my coaching plan. I offer a free 20-minute call to start you off so you have a video, nothing to do. Well, on my website, make sure you scroll down to my client stories and testimonials. I have helped so many guys that were in the same situation as you. All that I do is the beauty of online treatments and coaching is that you can do it anywhere. So if you're tired of your go to the gym, check out that website. Regardless of
That's what happened with everyone.
ain't that crazy.
Stomach when you're a kid and you're used to your parents just giving you free stuff, but as soon as you gotta start working for that stuff, you understand that. Wow, this is a real legitimate fact.
Damn.
Right. By the way, you usually don't go to jail if you look at your taxes. I went They just send you a letter and they say you pay this to them. Yeah, you only get to jail if you well, that's part of it.
$60,000 a year. Maybe we had to get paid $30 an hour down here, and that is just to cover
Jesus Christ.
rent. That's not including furniture. That's not including other bills. That's not including car issues. Right? Or we can see that they don't have to be fixed $5,000 a year. But you have to get
Yep.
so if you do something like this, they can feel that because we're going to pay their parents. Unless they are making $40 an hour on a job, they're definitely finding their living situation. They either live in a closet or they have 4 roommates.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with staying with your parents right now. Because at this moment in time, the new generation is able
Well, this is only going to get worse. I remember whenever I was like 21 and 22, this is the same thing that was happening. Like, cause that was like in the midst of the recession that we had back then. That was like a little bonus recession. Yeah, it was the same exact thing.
is the cost of things, not the actual payment of things.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
Yeah, I don't care. If you want to have parents that love you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with staying home until you're ready to leave.
Obviously not.
People leave home for children for multiple reasons. Sometimes it's because of dysfunction, but usually just because they don't want to live under their parents.
Yep.
And to be honest, what usually happens is they go and get an apartment. They get paid a rent for the apartment. They go and get a low-wage job because they don't have any job experience because they rush themselves out of the house. They end up spending more time at the job than they do enjoying the freedom away from their parents. And then it just becomes a cycle because those low-wage jobs are only going to pay you so much. So if you got parents, that's a huge advantage. Stay home until you're ready. I have a buddy that's 27 years old. He owns an entire moving company, but he still lives with his parents.
Man, imagine that. Yeah.
You're going to be able to put a 50% down payment on whatever.
Damn.
Take the break.
Yeah. What if you think outside and you decide to run?
Back where they at. No way, got no
Poor brother. Oh my God.
Right now. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong. But you didn't have to say it. Where should they go?
shit. Someone.
Love it. It's so good. Just telling it how it is. Yeah, bro. Like, yeah. This is so fucking
But
funny.
you didn't have to say it. Where should they go?
Shit. Someone. Where's home at?
Yeah.
If it's back to where they at or another little city, but Chicago's too back, man. We already got a lot going on.
What do you think about them giving them free hotels, free phones?
That's what I'm saying. They treat them better than real residents. Like, they giving them shit that they ain't giving us.
Damn.
And we born and raised in Chicago. They come in giving us 15.
It used to be they were taking our jobs. Now it's we got no houses left. Yeah.
$50,000 they name, a D in the league, all type of shit. I'm definitely. But you got homeless people sleeping on the street. You know, rich people ain't treating them better than some from Chicago. I
Yep.
don't like that though.
What's your direct message to Mayor Johnson?
Man, fix it. Get this together, bro.
Man. Fix this shit, yeah. Like, it's not his job to know what to do. Solid message? Yeah, you're right.
Help the city. Don't just be all talk. You talk that talk to get in there living. That don't fit.
Yeah, how many immigrants that
Bro, this must be his first election that he's been paying attention to. You know, like, damn, so like the dude got in there, he said he was gonna do something that didn't happen. Oh, man, first time, huh? Oh.
come in and they're giving them more benefits than Americans that have been taxed their entire lives for free. I'm not sure what the game plan is. I'm not sure if it's for cheap labor. I'm not sure if it's to stabilize the population because we're at a declining birth rate. I actually talked to my wife about this recently, and this might sound a little bit pessimistic, but this is kind of what I'm
I
starting
think we have a declining birth rate because people don't want to have kids because they can't afford it. That's the reason. It's not really that complicated. Like, most of the time, whenever I see people that are like, oh yeah, we decided not to have kids, or like, we're not having kids, the main reason why is because they're focusing on their career, or it's either a direct or an indirect reason that's related to money. Because people mainly focus on their career so they can make money and feel more financially stable. So, like, it's not really that you're career focused, it's that you feel like you need to be career focused in order to have stability for a family. So, like, you see it, yeah, daycare costs and a bunch of other shit, right? There's a lot. And so a lot of them, like, I hear this, and I see people talking about it, and it's because they simply don't have the money. They don't have the money. Kids cost a lot of people. Yeah, exactly. I don't want my kids growing up in a dying planet Earth. Yeah, for sure. But, like, I think that every single one of them, like, there's money is, like, a huge factor. Now, and don't get me wrong, there's plenty of broke people that have kids, right? But I think that the problem is that the conscientious people, it's almost like, it's like an unironic idiocracy situation, right? Where the people that are the most financially illiterate and irresponsible are having the most kids because they don't understand it. Give me a second. But that's like talking about person. I think his screen was lagging because he said the reason people do it is because they don't have the freedom to like go travel or go do anything. And I think that's also true. It's because also I think the reason for that though is like people that don't have the freedom to do that is because they weren't able to do that when they were young because they didn't have the money. I feel like one of the, like, if you look at, you know, like, I've used this example, right, with, like, you know, a lot of different ways to get to the number 4. I feel like the number 4 right now is money. And so, like, people want to travel because they weren't able to do that when they were younger because of money. People can't buy a house because of money. People want to advance their career because of money. Like, everything always goes back to money, I think. In almost all cases. Not all cases, but almost all.
maybe they're bringing in immigrants to help with production when it comes to manufacturing bullets or whatever we might need for World War III. Or
Right.
maybe it's just so they can be soldiers of World War III. But either way, if you're the average American, you should be upset because Americans can hardly afford to eat, and we're giving our tax dollars to people that aren't even from here.
Not going, you know what I'm saying? It ain't going, nah, it ain't gonna work.
Like, literally just the basic, like, this right? He's like, I don't know, maybe you should pay someone to do your taxes for you.
Yeah.
I said, does it sound like I'm in the position to be paying someone else to do my taxes when I'm hurting?
Yep.
No. The government money. Oh my god. What
Yep.
is this scheme?
That's right.
God.
And if you don't do it, you go to jail. That's the way it is. Just buy more money, true.
That is the there.
This guy will have like, he'll have some person on his stream, and he'll be like, so let me get this straight. You are in debt because you like buying old video game systems, and it's like, so you spend $3,000 a month on buying vintage video games and you don't have any money? Have you thought about not doing that? And they're like, yeah, I thought about buying PlayStations instead. It's like, basically, he brings on people that, it's like, these are people that don't know what 7 times 3 would be, right? The guy that has 3 cars, yeah, it's like, hey, I bought I bought an $8,000 car. I paid $15,000 a month, or $1,500 a month on it, and it's a 36 month lease. You know. Bro, like, you gotta be like, that's impressive. Really, that's impressive. Impressive that much on nice. Really? Like, that's impressive, man. Oh, wait. Kill yourself. Well, that would be good, I think. That would be cool. You got the all phases, you got the all phases, you cheat that, not paying money for whatever you can. Yeah, yeah. Like, the thing is that, you know, this is really fucked up your life as it fucks over. It's like, you know, oh, I'm gonna do the good thing, and I'm gonna do it the right way. Like, you think that you do. No, man. But whenever you're in a circus, you better act like a clown. Like, you absolutely need to do that. Want the money? Spend the fucking money. Write it off. Say you're not going to pay it. They send it to a debt collection agency. Then they can't legally garnish your wages anymore, depending on the state that you live in. Then eventually the debt collection agency reports it to the IRS as income for you. And then that year, you just don't make any money, so you don't have to pay taxes on that money. You get a deferral for your taxes, and then you get that forgiven by the government. But you have to be cheating all of the time. Like, always be cheating, man. ABC, always be like, doing whatever you can to get the money. Because if you're not doing that, somebody else is going to do that. It's more common than you think. 10 people have over 100K student loan debt. Yeah, I know a friend that has a. Yeah, Trump went bankrupt 4 times. Yeah, of course you had to do that. Yeah, you have to always be cheating, man. That's it. For legal reasons, it's a joke. Well, it's like you want to take out one credit card and then pay off another credit card and then just stop answering phone calls from both of them, but then make it to where, like, the amount is not high enough to where they try to seek legal repudiation, legal, like, proceedings from you. So you want to balance out, like, you know, scam, like, 5 people for 10K rather than, like, 1 person for 50K. And then that way they can probably just write your debt off rather than, like, so then that's why you take out the extra credit cards and you do that as well. And then you have, let's see, what's another thing? Talking about the house, yeah, there's debtors hate this guy. Well, you just have to do student loan should be tax deductible. Well, on six cards, rotation 5K, exactly, yeah. And not financial advice? No, this is not financial advice. And Warren Buffett said the top 100 companies paid their taxes. No American would never have to pay again. Yeah, but it's like people don't understand. It sounds easier to just get a job. Nah, bro, it's actually super easy to do this. Like, yeah, it's super easy. Always be cheating. Yeah, always be cheating. Do whatever you can to, like, stay. Like, there would be other things that I would suggest, like, that probably would, like, to give you a plus. But yeah, like, regularly take things, like, pay things off in, like, like, you know, pay things on, like, a payment plan, and then damage the product so they can't get it back from you, and then stop paying, and then we keep it. And that's part of it. And then you cheat things, right? Always, like, bro, always be cheating, man. Always. Because, like, she's crying, she doesn't get it. She doesn't understand. Yeah. that's nuts. Like, that's too much for a car. Yeah, that's way off. And the car price is good. Yeah, it's manageable, right? Talking about, like, look, if you have you are below average. And this is, by the way, this is the amount of money that's left. Does that count down payment? Money that's already been paid on this car? It could be like a $40,000 car. What are you doing? Yeah, drive a beater. Yeah, what are you doing? You're being an idiot. My car's $3K paid up front. Yeah. To be fair, like, used cars have gone up a lot in prices, right? Like, I don't know if they started going back down again, but I'm probably not inflation, right?
Oh, 152,000. 152,000. 87,000. Bad debt.
Yeah.
That is a number that just shouldn't even be.
Yeah.
That's it. Alright. Looks like.
Yeah, $125,000 a debt at the age of 25. You might as well go ahead.
That's I'm gonna be real. I think that you know who's at fault? You know who fucked up here? 25. She fucked up, number one. Number two is the school. How much you want to bet that she's probably not that good at math? That she don't understand what percentages are and shit like that, right? It's the education system. Yeah, the parents also know. It's the school's job to teach the kids. Yeah, of course the parents do. But, like, I'm guaranteed, bro, like, she probably, like, what's 8% of 100? And this would be a problem. You know, like, what is compounding interest? This would be a problem. 17% of $80,000. This would be a problem. You see what I'm saying?
Just five back. At least you're thinking with no kids. It's probably the best time to do it. Two
Yeah.
of my buddies live together in their early 20s. And when I say buddies, I mean
Yeah.
guys that I've known since I was 14 years old.
Right.
There's only 4 of these people on the planet. I don't use the word friend. That's just a word to say. But anyway, my two buddies were living together, and I remember this because every time we were they would have a gas. There was one like
Yep.
skateboard. They
Yep.
were buying motorcycles. They were buying cars. There was a bunch of egregious shit that they didn't even really need. And it got to the point where they were living 4 hours a week in the horrible before because all the money they were dishing out was because the interest rates were high.
They got a default on the money. You gotta declare bankruptcy. You gotta, like, bro, because then it's like if you're living with one guy, like, really, the cooldown is like 3.5 years. Now, one guy buy all the stuff for one period of time, then you buy all the stuff the next time, and that see, like, you leapfrog. See, you gotta be thinking about this a lot. Yes, the cooldown. Yeah, exactly. Can't default on school loans. Yeah, I know. Like, school loans, so, like, the way that you have to get around that is by not making money. Like, you basically have to assume that they're going to eventually forgive the student loans, and so then you never pay down the principal, and they can't garnish your wages until, like, you make a surprisingly large amount of money. So then you have to figure out other ways that you can invest your money into things that you can monetize or do without allowing it to go above the threshold for wage garnishing. That's what you have to do. Well, like over 400K, yeah, exactly. Like that's you figure out like different ways that you can do that. Military, not anything you can, man. You have a server making tips, yeah.
Trying to pay back the people so that they wouldn't get their stuff repossessed. Eventually, some of their stuff got repossessed,
Yep.
and I remember they had a moment of clarity when they realized the only reason we feel like we're slaves and the only reason we're in such a scarcity mindset all the time is because we made so much debt, we built up so much debt, we're buying shit that we don't even need. So they started working 60 hours a week. And this time we're in our early 20s, so these jobs are not good jobs. They're just grind hours, run it out. 60 hours a week, paying off debt, for about a year and a half straight. Eventually they got to the point where they didn't have any debt anymore. Fast forward to today, they're completely out and they don't want to go back into debt. They save their money. They both make about $100,000 a year. One of my buddies just called me a couple of days ago and said he makes he just got a $20,000 raise on his salary.
That's a lot. God damn, that's a lot of fucking money. I did that and paid $35K in student loans in 2 years. Yeah, that's a fuck.
And the other buddy owns a pharmacy, is a partial owner in a pharmacy in Kenya, so they're both doing pretty well.
Kenya.
Because once they got out of that scarcity mindset, because they actually got to use the money that they were making.
I think also, like, that's just what happens when you're young, right? It's like whenever you're young, you don't have a lot of skills or like experience or anything like that. So like obviously you're gonna be dumb. Yeah.
It gave a lot of here. You can actually make the city with a rational mind instead of like living in a scarcity mindset their entire life. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I don't know if the economy is ever going to be any better. In my experience, with way more your never going to debt, especially for something you don't need.
And that's just facts. Yeah, there's so many people who are like, people go crazy with spending money. Like, what's sad about it to me is that there's so many young people that feel like they need to buy all this expensive shit, and they do that, and then they ruin their life. That's what it is. I'll link y'all the video. This is a good video. You write about pretty much everything, to be honest. I think so. Like, yeah, and a young person isn't paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, it's because people try so hard to spend money or to, like, look good or whatever, and it ends up ruining their life. I think that's really what the problem is. Yeah, buying shit you don't need. Yeah, exactly. Like buying shit you don't need. Isn't that an IRL stupid tax? Yeah, exactly. Of course it is. You put medical debt on a credit card. Medical debt doesn't have interest. Well, if with medical debt, what you want to do is you want to say that you're going to pay it in cash. So they have a lower, like they'll give you a lower amount, and then tell them that you're going to do it in payment plans. And then you only pay a small amount of it, and then you never make another payment, and they'll write it off immediately. Like, my mom did that like tons of times, right? It's super crazy. Yeah, total fucking idiot, but yeah, never put it on the card, yeah. How does he know? So, I mean, bro, like, it is what it is, right? I mean, you gotta, like, bro, ABC, always be cheating. Always be cheating. You have to. That's the thing, and it's like, you can be on and by the way, guys, it's not good news. It's not good and bad news. Oh my god. Actually, I've not been limited, but they,
like,
I had to do a tax payment recently. Yeah, and, yeah, it's been, it's not good. I mean, it's not something I'm prior to. Like, yeah, I had to do it, the tax payment. Well, and now the, oh no, yeah, it's a lot quarterly. Yeah, well, no, I set up, like, it's the account. Well, I'll tell you this, right? Just the account for my taxes is $5,000. Like, that's where we're at. And it's a lot. It's not bad. I don't know, the last one I had was like, that's the current price. Yeah, it's a lot. So apparently obese is a slur now, which is crazy. I just.
Oh, hey, Susan. What appears to be the problem. Hey there, Doctor. May, you're right. Yeah. How old are you, Susan?
Doctor, I'm going to be honest, mate. Not too great. I'm feeling a lot of chest pain, right? And my knees hurt when I walk.
Okay. Well, Susan, the problem
But that's not all, Doctor.
Yeah.
Breath breathing easily, and I just feel tired. Yeah, Susan, I think I know what the problem your health is. It's every doctor I've gone to about this problem has just been really fat folk, always making comments about my weight and my diet. It's just really insulting. Susan, I think that it might sound, might be a bit plus-sized, but it's got nothing to do with my health. I don't know why they bring it up. One doctor even called me the slur of beat. In the language, the slur beats what it called the slur. I'm so bigoted and closed-minded, doctor. I just want a solution to my problem. Can you help me out, please? Yeah. Yourself.
So,
Hello,
you
lady.
want to know another example of this, how this has already happened, is retarded. So, retarded used to be the word that you would use as the euphemism for a word that was worse. But now, we don't use, now retarded is seen as the bad word, and people are using neurodivergent instead. Now, guys, I think that if you are using a word that is supposed to mean a lack of mental acuity or awareness or some variation of that. And you're using it in a derogatory way. It doesn't matter. That's what it is. I think that people are just looking for a new way to complain about something stupid. The line is hard. Oh, hard. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, Starlight, and you look back to the channel. For if this just so happens to be your first time here, then I'm not even gonna say it. You know. And before you go in the comments and say, oh, you sound so different, why do you sound so different? It's because I got braces, I got grills. That's why I low-key have a little bit of a list. Alright, somewhat.
I had braces whenever I was a kid from like 8th grade, like 10th grade.
Still kind of hard to pronounce. But to be fair, most of it is faded by now. But it's still there.
When my teeth fell out a few years later, they fell straight out rather than on an angle.
And if you say you find her a different, then I'm gonna give you roses. Okay. I was supposed to take a smooth break off YouTube so my speech could recover, but I had to make this video. This is just pretty hard. So before I go on and on, let me just preface this.
What I fucking think is funny about this is the fact that even this person, like, you don't even have a picture of a fat chick as your profile. Like, you don't want to be that. You don't even want to pretend to be fat when they do that. Y'all see that?
By saying, I don't have a problem when people complain on the internet. Honestly, I don't.
I love it.
I'm doing it right now. If someone wants to sit down and complain about something, then honestly, I think that's perfectly...
This guy, man. Do you remember whenever this guy, he got caught talking like a white crow at a fucking, Dr. Umar? Yeah, he got caught talking to a white girl at like a mall or something like that. It was so fucking funny, man. Was that a hit for? Yeah.
Sometimes it's funny, constructive. You don't know you're crying and whining about something which you yourself can't control. It's one thing if I complain about Cocoa Pops tasting like shit because they took the sugar out.
Yeah.
But it's different if I'm the CEO of Cocoa Pops complaining about the same thing. Like, do you not see how stupid that would be? You fucking made it, you twat. And similar to that, if you complain about getting made fun of on the internet while you
Oh my fucking god! Who are these people? This is why we used to have those places that you would put them in.
Simultaneously act like a retard on the internet, you're a fucking idiot. I don't feel like I'm breaking new grounds here. This shit should be obvious. In conclusion, don't complain about things which you can solve through your own action. I thought this would be common sense by now, but clearly the internet has reduced all of our IQ. That's why at least you won. And for some reason, I don't feel like it's gonna get any better anytime soon. But it's one of the dumbest communities on the internet is the fucking body positivity, fat liberation, body diversity, plus size, literally every single other word under the sun other than what they actually are. Obese. You are obese, okay? You're not body liberated, you're not plus size, a fucking large...
Well, they are liberated. They're liberated from being able to fly in an airplane.
And KFC is plus size. You're just fucking obese, man. You can call it whatever you want. It is not gonna change that fact. We've been over this several times.
Well, this guy's farming, though.
And like I've said in those previous...
Yeah, they're gonna tie up old age at their... Yeah, they're gonna...
They've only got a year left. Several times, no one cares that you're obese. If you want to sit down and eat pizza and ice cream all day, go ahead. Okay, we don't care. People only start making fun of you when you complain about being overweight. You can't try and whine about
the U.S. hates fat people. I bet they do.
When you sit down and eat enough food to feed a family of 4. These people are so fucking tone deaf it hurts to watch. I've literally seen some accounts on TikTok where they'll go, oh my god, my jeans won't fit, they need to make bigger jeans, and then they'll suck.
Somebody gets too fat for their clothes, they start blaming the store. fuck? Wasting food equals terrorism? I mean, for them, I think they believe it.
Simultaneously post what I eat in a day, and it's the what?
My favorite part about this, bro. Look what it said. Donut number 1. It's not donut, it's only donut number 1. But how many?
What I eat in a day, and it's the worst.
Oh,
Like, the solution to your problem is right there.
French fries and an impossible cheeseburger.
It's on your account, you fucking wanker. But the worst thing these people do is that they'll genuinely convince themselves that there's nothing wrong with being obese. Do I?
I don't think this is that big of a problem because I think that this is an asshole. Everybody knows this is natural selection. That's what happens. And if you believe this, it is. And if you think this is what's going to happen, go ahead and believe in it. Yes, there it is. This problem solved. So, I wish I died younger, wasting resources. You need to stop thinking. That's a horrible thing to think.
Because when they die younger, they have to use less water.
What's actually not because basically the way that the network is occurred within like the last year or really even the last 1 month of what. So if somebody lives past and dies at 700 pounds at the ripe old age of 21, they saved a lot. Yeah. And so, no, don't, hey, listen.
We need to go over why this just doesn't make any sense. I've done it before, so I don't think I need to. But I will say that looking like this and will and is going to kill you. That is 100% going to cause you health issues down the line. Like heart problem, kidney problem, joint problem, bone problem. Do I even need to know on? I mean, that short list is bad enough, but the full one is pretty fucking bad. No, I'm not saying that people on bad don't have problems, but I am saying that if you are
I think here's the problem. This is why I'm pretty fucking disappointed by this shit. It's not that. It's like, there are people, like, here's the thing. Some people treat their body like a temple. I treat mine like a zoo. I eat fast food every day. I drink soda constantly. I live like an absolute fucking animal. And you know what I don't do? I don't say, hey guys, this is normal. Oh, this is normal. Guys, it's just being look how normal I am. It's insane. That's the reason why people are fucking annoying. It's not that it's happening, it's that you're trying to tell us it's fucking normal. And I think that's unhealthy. Because young people see that and they're like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not.
You're much more likely to have problems. That's being fatphobic. That's me using what they told me back in primary school. Children. No. Most people. No. Even you fat people. No. That's why they love the delusion of fat just being body. Which is not.
Is a type of substance. And you know what else is another type of substance? Lettuce. So fentanyl and lettuce are both substances. So what's the difference? Body type C, not body type O.
It comes with many different issues, but alright. If they go as far as to call people fat folks, which is a pretty rational fear of them. If they go as far as to
I want to address an argument that's really starting to piss me off.
call people fat folks, which
Fat phobia is not oppression because fat people do this way. I like how she puts F on nasty. You have a take on why it's only fat women? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. The reason why fat women are trying to push this is because of mental lifestyle. And fat guys don't have the same type of Like, so as a guy, your appearance is like 40% of why a girl is gonna pick you. And I mean, it's general, right? I mean, but for me, it's 39. Shut the fuck up. Just think about what I'm trying to say. It's like 40%, but like as a girl, it's supposed to be like 60, 70, or 80. So girls want to normalize being overweight and make being overweight. And also, this is another. You could say it's called the belief that back in the day, being fat was considered attractive. This is only true if you take away all the context to it. The reason why being fat was considered attractive back in the 70s, for example, is because it was an indicator of wealth. And the wealth was what was attractive. Being fat was just an indicator. A lot of people don't. I mean, able to, yes, exactly. And also, there are plenty of people that like fat people. Like, this is obvious. We all know this. So it's not like nobody likes it, but the reason why it's because girls are the ones that want to normalize it because guys don't want to date them. So they're trying to change the way that society sees being overweight, so it's easier for them to get a boyfriend, right? That's basically it.
It's a pretty rational theory, if I'm being honest. No one in their right mind would want to look like this. Absolutely fucking no one. It's just in recent times there's been a
There's BDs, there's even a read of that where the sexual satisfaction comes from feeding somebody to the point of death. It's called death feederism if you want to look it up. Yeah. There's a whole iceberg of this. It's more like an anchor, but
a weird push into glorifying this stuff. The silly, healthy old science, my body is beautiful dog shit that no one actually believes has, for some reason, become a main statement in today's modern media. And it just keeps getting worse.
the problem is that like people took it way too far. Like for a long time, there was this idea that you had to be like 120 pounds as a woman, and like it's like based off like Victoria's Secret models, which is like in my opinion. I don't really find a lot of those girls particularly attractive, right? That's not like my preferred body type. But like if I think about like what are the characters in WoW that look like that, they look like the Nightfallen characters in what was it? The middle area in Legion, and they look like the Nightfallen people before they got the mana. Then Suramar, yeah, like the withered. That's the way they look to me. They look like Victoria's people. So yeah, I think it was awful. And so a lot of that was like a trend away from like that beauty standard, but the problem is that it's gone too far in the other direction.
The word obese trending on Twitter, or X, or whatever the fuck people call it nowadays. I don't care. Now, to everyone who actually enjoys their life and doesn't use Twitter, you're probably wondering, why was the word obese trending? Well, now the word obese, the medical term obese, is considered a slur. Yes, obese is considered.
And she's blaming Elon. Where literal slurs were allowed. In Asian countries, the women there are barely obese. I don't know. I mean, that's what I hear, but I've never been there.
Considered a slur. Yes.
Yeah.
A slur. The word should now be censored and treated like
read this. Hold on, let me read
a
this.
slur. The word.
Well, no. Mercedes claims that obesity is a slur used to exact violence on fat people, particularly black, disabled, trans, or fat people, and offers a fat ode to care that students are instructed to analyze, taking note of which sections most resonate for you. How much do you guys want to bet that the person who said that originally has a job at a company that is not it is not crucial for that company to produce its product? They have a non-essential job. Yeah, I think this is 100% changed. This has to be satire. No, it's not.
The word should now be
some of
censored
them
and treated like
right.
the N-word. Honestly, I couldn't make this up even if I tried. Even though I have zero
It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, guys.
Still somehow just
I can always identify someone who doesn't have a great grasp on history if they see medicalization as a stamp of inherent virtue. This comes up a lot when I talk about how the word obese is a slur. At least one person will always pop their head out of the ground to say, obese is a medical term.
But it quite literally is. It says it right here. It's a medical condition that people can get diagnosed with.
As if that somehow makes it better.
No, that would just not make it a slur. It would make it a medical condition.
You know what else used to be a medical term? Like a lot of bad shit we don't say anymore. Because we realized it was stigmatizing as fuck and actively harms people.
You know what else actively harms people?
Here's the thing, is that if we change the word obese to being something else, like, I don't know, you can come up with any word, right? It doesn't really matter. People will turn that word into a slur. And the examples of words that were used back in the day as medical distinctions that turned into slurs, the only ones that we really don't use anymore are the ones that were racially, motivated, like Mongol or something like that. We don't use that word anymore because that's a racially charged word. It's a bad thing to say. You don't say that. And so, at least, most people don't say it. It's been changed. Autism, right? Exactly. And so there are other examples. I think that's probably the best one. Maybe retard, yeah.
People, obesity. Fucking twat. And unlike words, obesity actually harms people on a biological level. And even if you call it something else like round or big-bodied or morbidly obtuse, it's not going to change the fucking issue because it's
not. We're just going to use whatever word that you use as an insult. It doesn't matter. It's like you're just moving the goalposts and obfuscating things. You can make it seem like people can't say what your lifestyle is bad. That's the only thing they're doing.
Derogatory term, it's a health problem. People are still going to suffer from obesity whether you call their obesity or my God.
Well, I would expect, actually, if you keep changing the name of it, that, it actually becomes harder for people to deal with. Right? I mean, think about, for example, how many times they've changed. PTSD wasn't originally called PTSD. They used to call it World War I shell shock. And I think that, the constant changing of that term, this is the George Carlin thing, right? Is that the constant changing of that term was done, and I think it did a disservice to veterans, because it was like you're resetting the awareness of the issue.
Never thought I'd ever have to explain that.
Science and language are both constantly evolving and updating. The medical establishment is not exempt from
Well,
this.
science isn't necessarily updating. Our understanding of science is updated. These are two very different things.
Anything, it's actually a particularly strong example of how this happens. You don't need to look too far back into history at all to see how medical terminology and practices change.
Yeah, well, that's due to a little fact called technology. The reason why medical practices change is
because something else pulled.
Due to technological advances.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they didn't have technology to pinpoint each medical issue. But now,
that's not even the reason. The real reason why it's changed is because the better, more effective solution was discovered. That's the reason why it gets changed. So it's this is really bad. Okay, maybe we should wash our hands because we've done testing and we have done experimentation that has led us to this conclusion.
And with that knowledge, we can tell that being morbidly obese is not good for you.
Yeah.
For example, homosexuality is no longer diagnosed as a mental illness. Female hysteria is not something that's diagnosed anymore.
If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Yes. Two psychological thought processes which don't inherently kill you. You know, guys, I think I'm starting to see the relationship between that and having plaque literally cover your organ. Yeah, they're definitely the same thing.
Cocaine and heroin are no longer prescribed as anesthetics or cough suppressants. Lysol cleaning spray is no longer used as a douche. We don't perform ice pick lobotomies anymore. And doctors no longer advocate for the health benefits of smoking cigarettes. Oops.
You know, it's almost
That's because every single one of those circumstances, there was testing, experimentation, and peer-reviewed research that arrived at the conclusion that these things were bad. That's why they were changed. Crazy.
like there's a way for doctors to tell if there's something biologically harmful to you.
Yeah.
I wonder if they can still use it. Oh well, I guess not. Is there an argument here that science is just outdated and that there's nothing unhealthy about being overweight? Because if that's the case, then she'd be wrong. Same
Well, I mean, these are the people, like, you can't expect somebody like this. Here's the thing, I was a doctor for hospitals, and there were a lot of girls in the school who got it was not painful. They just don't, like, they're not going to understand the periodic table. They don't know what gravity is. They don't know how to do multiplication. This person is like, 150 years ago, 1,500 years ago, this person would be perfect for taking big rocks, turning them into little rocks with a big rock. They would be great. But now society has evolved in a way that this person has no. So what do? They make videos justifying being bad for you. That's the next best thing.
But we know smoking cigarettes is bad is the same way that we know overeating is bad.
Yeah.
You'd expect a fully grown adult to know this.
Right.
More importantly, when a marginalized group tells you that a word will practice harms them, you can just go ahead and believe them.
No. I'm not going to allow it. No, we're bad. And it's just, she's doing it.
Listen, I'm glad that happened with Laura. I don't think you had to. I think you went in all the way. Hell, you can't say that word. That word is a slur.
Yeah.
I think that word is very harmful. Listen, I'm sorry, man. I know the word alcoholic might be harsh, but this is your 13th drink. I think you might have had too many.
No.
I'm sick and tired of people using that word to against me. I don't think you understand just how harmful that word is. So where is fucking my trust on your face? You're an alcoholic. It doesn't matter what word I use here. The problem is this guy drinks too fucking much. I don't understand how people
There's another little fun fact here, is that the Guinness Book of World Records actually no longer takes in records for fat animals because it was creating an encouragement for people to overfeed their pets, which was considered animal abuse. Yeah.
too fucking much. I don't understand how people can argue against this. The point here is you can call it whatever you want, it's not going to change the fact that obesity is an underlying medical condition. And if you view that as offensive, well, then that kind of contradicts your entire fat liberation argument. I thought it was okay to be morbidly obese. Why is it now all of a sudden a word that should be said?
Just a reminder that I am very fat and very sexy, and I want sex, glorifying obesity.
Go ahead, do whatever you want. And I'm sure there's probably some dude out there that thinks that she's hot. Go ahead, like, I don't care. Yeah, you want to be fat? Go ahead, be fat. Like, yeah. What's the problem with that? Like, I mean, I don't care. Like, now, I don't want to hear about, like, and the thing is, yeah, that's fine. The problem is, like, it's not that you're fat. Like, you be fat all you want. Who cares? Well, I just don't want to hear about how it's healthy.
She just said the whole word. Well,
No, they can say that. It's like the N-word. They can say it. We can't say it. They can say it.
Seriously, what are the rules
It's
here?
their word,
Is it
yeah.
bad? Is it good? Is it a word that no one should ever say? Because if so, then I have a few replacement suggestions. Fans off, feel free to contact me. But this all just feels like they're just ignoring their help. Like one big, everyone close your ears and go la 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 la. I don't want to hear the obese word. To which, okay, fine, but that's not gonna change the fact. Word. To which, okay, fine, but that's
Is this your seat?
not.
Jesus.
Oh my god. Gonna change the fact that you are obese. Oh, sorry. I meant you're plus size. And so is the plaque in your arm. Good luck with heart disease.
Obesity is a fact, and it doesn't describe a large thickness.
Well, actually,
Obesity is actually a fine, and that's how bodybuilding classifies as
the word obese is an adjective. And the word you
that's how you spell morbid, because that's also a definition. It's above
have a large human being, so no, you're wrong.
Yeah, it's not even okay.
يلا يلا امشي ايه بس
We don't say that most is obese.
The word obese is used to describe
The term obesity comes with judgment, not judgment.
So obesity isn't. It's like you're obese. You've just been judged. This is true. That's true.
Of the size, but of how they became large.
What? Wait, what?
But of how they became large. Not a judgment of the size, but of how they became large.
What are you
talking about? By definition, it literally is used to describe how large something is. At this point, you're not throwing random shit in to make it sound like you know what you're talking about. The word obese is a front of the scenes that impairs health, okay? You can try and shift the definition all you want, saying what this fucking judge.
Bro, she's talking about Latin. How are you talking about Latin, bro? Like, which puts the blame on the larger person as if food carries moral value. I gotta do Mr. Beast. It's a weight loss. It's gonna be it's a weight loss area, right? And so what you do is you put a big open air place and have the walls just be like 6 feet tall, so you can see some of them. You can just like look down on them, and you can put a bunch of people that are really, really fat in this area, and you can put inside of the area small holes that if they get thin enough and they lose enough weight, they can escape. And then the last one to leave gets a free like surgery to have like their like that stomach surgery. Right? It's like it's a battle royale. Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, you know, Paul Boogie. Yeah, that's cool. I know it's a really good idea. Mr. Beast could rebuild the brand. You could call it the Hunger Games.
Judgment bullshit. But it's not going to change the fact that being obese is bad for you. It's not neutral, it's fucking bad for you. Yes.
Power from black beauty to obese. This is suffering on the larger person.
Well, is the flame supposed to go?
Well, it's obviously the patriarchy. It's gonna be it's Elon Musk, Donald Trump. Let's see what else. There's probably like the school system. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of reasons, right? Me.
Is it the light bulb?
Yeah.
God said.
This is I'm reading these. I really do. Accessible is for everyone to understand. Right, there are three individuals that need to navigate the world. Okay. God said. Like your size or ability, you deserve to feel comfortable and confident wherever you go. Good for you.
Or is it your fault because you refuse to eat a salad once in a while?
So food carries moral value. It doesn't. We should stop using this word.
Well, obviously it doesn't hold moral value. It's just food. The food itself isn't the problem. The problem is when you eat 3,000 to 4,000 calories of it every day. You can change the word all you want. The problem is still going to be there. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, these are people they change the word on and they think it's going to convince people it's different.
I like that word. Couldn't change it. Me, the word's not the
What you have to understand is that if it wasn't for McDonald's, well, here's what happens, right? It's like McDonald's puts out these advertisements and they say, like, if you go to McDonald's, you're going to get good food. And so then they have to go to McDonald's. That's what happens, yeah. So it's not even their fault. It's like, well, why would you get mad at McDonald's for putting out these advertisements?
We're just in time.
Promise that internal organs probably look like Indian street food. For the size of 3 people, and most of
The problem is that you want people to ignore it. I don't care how big your fucking organs are. You want to be fat? Go ahead. Be fat. You want to be fat as a motherfucker? Go ahead. You want to do that? That sounds great. But I just do not want to fucking hear about how it's okay. About how it's normal. It's not fucking normal. You think people evolved monkeys can climb a tree. Can they climb a tree? No, bro. It's not going to happen.
Not even sit down in a chair. You want to change the word to when people are size, when we fucking warm it. It doesn't make a difference because the health problems that we're easy are still going to be there. So great then.
Why do you think that you call someone fat? Fat. There's a way to keep
God, you know, at this point, I can
Sometimes you just have to look at them and you know what it's going to be. You know what it's going to be, bro. Like,
tell what kind of response I'm going to get from looking at them.
I don't even. You know what she is? Who's the target audience?
I like using this word, but this is literally the carrot head.
It
Okay,
is.
well,
It absolutely
it is.
and I want to answer your question. You really do want an answer. Sure you do.
No, just get on with it.
Sorry. Of the fat. And there's always a refer to me as fat. And that's because the word fat is a bad word. Even if someone tries to insult me by saying you're fat, my response is yes and.
I mean, yeah, it's not wrong. It's not bad. Yeah. Just, it's bad enough because we also, that's the case of why the fuck is everybody?
I'm not a big fan of, like, so if somebody is, like, being mean to somebody for being fat is fundamentally being mean. And you'll agree that a lot of the cases where it's like, oh, well, we're fat shaming you because we want you to lose weight. You're fat shaming her because you think it's fun. And I think that's, you want to do that, go it's fun. But don't go and act like you're trying to help anybody else.
Get so upset about the word obese. Because obese sounds worse than fat. I mean, it does.
I can think of
like
like
sex inclusion. Obviously.
Not where to get to this point, and that's because, like many other words in our language, the word fat comes there for great reason. Because we all solve
well, yeah, but you don't have to think that of yourself fat, so like you would.
Most part. Said, because being fat is not a good thing. It's not a fucking body type of a video game. No, it actually has consequences in real life. When you're fucking package, like it's like big shoe and big nose or having big lips or some shit like that. Those are inherent characteristics which you can't change. You are just literally killing yourself.
So for a lot of people, it's very difficult to shape this history when they hear the word fat.
Because it's an inherently bad thing. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, bone, joint issues, digestion issues. Why do you need to go on?
If you want the word fat to be used in the same way as skinny, thin, fit, then you need to.
See, here's the thing for me. It's like this is a bit of a chip off the shoulder for me. Is that growing up, I was always still very skinny. Growing up, I was also very skinny. I would be made fun of very regularly for being skinny. People would call me names. They would say all kinds of things about me. Now, it would bother me. Nowadays, it doesn't, because now they're in their 30s, just like I am, and their knees hurt because they're fat, and I'm not, and I don't have that problem. So too bad. But that bit, and so like I got made fun of all the time for being really, really skinny. I did very regularly. People would say stuff like that about me. Yes.
The way that's not derived for it, which quite frankly.
Listen, did you call a Holocaust survivor? I didn't. You want to know why? Because we didn't learn about the Holocaust until like, I don't know, maybe like the second half of senior year. And people were like, damn, bro, so they kill off. Damn, that's great. Wow. Oh, damn. Yeah, we didn't even know what the fuck that was. Really? Damn.
So if someone that first to the front of their mind and first their content, they have every reason in the world to do so.
I think that it's like, so, I swear to God, like, there's a big difference. So, like, plus size is, like, basically the same as being fat, right? But curvy is not being fat. This is not the same thing. Everybody knows this. Why are we talking about it? So, thank you. Yes, exactly. Thick. Well, there's thick, there's thick, and then there's extra thick, and it's pretty obvious which one each one means, right? I would say thick and curvy are pretty much equivalent in a lot of cases. But then I hate this. This is, you know what this is? It's false advertising. Okay? That's what's going on. And you didn't know false advertising.
Friends. That's it. Hey, goodness me. You'd rather be called plus size than yeah, whatever, sure. The problem you get from obesity
People are with whatever they want about it, but they're very
that's still gonna be there. How many times do I need to say the same thing before it drills into your abnormally large head? Whether you call it obese or not, it's still gonna be not good. But I guess this rational use of word is not expected from fat. I mean, they don't collectively
well, they are. The thing is that, do you remember what he was getting mad at me for earlier about how I said the narcissism thing and the selfishness thing? Remember that? About that. How about that? That's crazy, isn't it?
It's a good idea to call themselves fat top, for fuck's sake. But another app that rational thought process can't be given to is Twitter. Obviously. I feel like anyone familiar with Twitter could have probably guessed that. No one uses their brains on it. People even found a way to find political discourse in a McDonald's advert. People of Twitter...
That was stupid, man. Like, I remember that, the McDonald's Japan advertisement. That was fucking crazy. That was a crazy few days.
People got mad at PewDiePie for being a happy, loving father.
You know, karma's a bitch, if not a myth, because if anyone deserves to suffer horribly, it's this Swedish piece of shit. AI generated a picture of a space furry for Warhammer 40k. Like, what the fuck?
to believe that anyone who uses this app is happy in real life. But of course, if they can make big issues,
Twitter is my strongest argument for making the internet 18 plus.
no, literally nothing as we know is.
There are a lot of ads in the West that depict happy families with small kids, but they're not designed to appeal to online Nazi purpose. You don't notice them? Right. I can see why. Yeah, that's
any of these controversial by any means.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't believe the fucking uproar when it comes to the word obese. Now I look at dumb people all day. I look at silly people all day. And even I've got to put my hands up and say, some of the dumbest fucking retards on earth.
Yeah.
Bad talk is one thing, but Twitter is another fucking planet, man. Obesity is a medical slur. Love your body. If you want to exercise and eat healthier, that's great. But don't be scammed and bullied into making yourself smaller. There is nothing wrong with being fat. Well, I did you
Who knows?
I fucking beg to differ. This shit kills people, But I guess my main question here is, how is weight loss a scam? I mean, yeah, sure, there are.
Well, it's simple because here's why it's a scam. Is that girl probably went to the grocery store and she saw the magazine and it said, take this pill. You can eat donuts all day and you're gonna lose 120 pounds and you're gonna be skinny. And she buys the pill and she takes it, it doesn't work. It's just like, what the fuck? The Great Hunt's buying home. That's what happened. I bet, yeah. She got scammed by Dr. Oz.
Shady weight loss practices, but for the most part, the weight loss journey itself is always a good thing. It's good for your heart, joints, mobility, overall health. You get to live longer. You actually get to sit down in chairs and you don't have to worry about weight capacity. And you can actually move without having to waddle around like a fucking penguin. This isn't bullying, this is just facts. Oh, wait, sorry. Sorry about that. I forgot I wasn't supposed to use rational thinking when talking to someone. My apologies. When you see the fatphobic slur obesity, replace the word in your mind with fat people or fat children. And then see how the headline of the post will read. Better.
Here, I'll do one myself. People with morbidly obese fat children should have their kids taken away from them and be charged with child abuse. What? How about that? Seems pretty fair to me. Yeah, not bad.
Anything you post about fatphobic slur obesity is something you're supposed to do to fat people. And the reason why the word is a slur is because it makes you forget that fat people are people. Okay.
Oh god. Oh god, like this is amazing. Where did these people come from? This is amazing. How do you do this?
Hey, no. Whenever someone makes a statement that they want to get rid of obesity, they're talking about the illness obesity. They want to get rid of
So this person thinks they're gonna we're gonna round up all the fat people and we're gonna shoot them. Who the fuck said that? What are you talking about?
People have and not the people. Because they will live a lot shorter lives if they don't get rid of it. Obesity isn't a group of people, it's a health condition. Whenever someone says I want to get rid of cancer, they're not saying they want to kill
We're gonna kill every kid with cancer. We're gonna get Ellen. We're gonna end cancer in children. We're gonna get them all together and we're gonna shoot them. There's gonna be no more kids with this. Who the fuck thinks like this? This is like
That's like the logic that a fucking anime protagonist has. It's like a dumber version of Thanos.
Don't even try to cut it back when it's low. It's not mistakes. It's a medical slur. Is that is the medical slur even real? See, you have it, you know, I don't see how that could be wrong. It's the word doctors use it like that. You can do things in your life, you know, it could possibly be for us. It's not that we can help you. I don't know what they could possibly be, but they are out there.
knows. It's an unravelable tapestry of life that nobody can even begin to understand. The human body is full of mysteries, and we've only begun to discover the surface. It's a medical mystery. It's unknown. There's nothing that you can do.
And so, if you don't like being obese, then you could maybe give it a try. Just an idea. The term obese is a slur. Rather than dehumanizing, it's anti-black.
Well, it's anti-black. The only implication that you can make with that is racist. That's crazy. Wow.
As a colored crayon myself, I don't see how. How can a biological health condition be racist?
It's simple, because that's a bad word, and the bad people have all the bad words, and so they're bad.
Based on species. Hey, skitties, the word obesity is a fat-phobic slur. Stop interacting with posts that use it as a way to combat fat. I fucking hate y'all for that shit.
Look at this, another cute, in-shaped anime girl. I wonder if she's fat. I bet she's not.
If you're not fat, stay out of fat people's business. And if you disagree, literally block me.
I love how, the idea is that, fat people are, another... It's like an interest group, right? You have, Asian Americans, white people, black people, and then you have fat people. Like a protected class. Yeah, exactly. It's another species. I guess it's a race. Yeah. Well, it's not, but,
We're gonna fucking die. See there, bro. Calm down. It's a joke. Kind of. The term obese is a slur because it is used to dehumanize and harass us. It's not because our feelings are hurt by an accurate description. What it is, because I don't see how it could be anything else, it is an outdated term that does more harm than good, and as such, it should be eradicated. That's it. I've said it many times before, and I'll say it again. Just because you get rid of the word doesn't mean you get rid of what it actually is. The causes and effects of obesity are still going to be a thing, whether you call it...
but if you think about it from their perspective, that if you stop calling people fat, maybe being fat will go away and it will become normal. Because, that's the way they're thinking of it. That's what it is. Well, acting like these insane opinions, so less than 0.01% population are worth talking about. So the reason why it's problematic is that these people put themselves in positions of authority, and then they use this thinking to dictate what other people can and can't say. These are the people that work at your HR office who are constantly trying to call you in, that are mad at you for making some harmless joke. These are the people who are unreasonable and they want everybody else in the world to accommodate their unreasonable behavior. So I think that's the reason why I don't want to be told what to think by these people. They're fucking annoying. Actually true, yeah, that's the reason why. I mean, what are we talking about? It's a loud minority. And here's the other problem, right, is that people accommodate this because they think that they're being nice. Oh yeah, let's be nice. You know what I think is also nice? I think that next time, Cletus the crackhead needs another hit of heroin or fentanyl, I'm just gonna give it to him. Because, like, look, if he wants it, I'm being a nice guy. I'm just being a nice guy. I mean, there it is.
Obesity or no? How hard is this to understand? It's almost like education is illegal wherever you people are from. My God. Mercedes claims that obesity is a slur used to exact violence on fat people, particularly black, disabled, trans, or fat people. Oh, God, I'm starting to shit.
They're doing they're like, this is like whenever I would say something bad, I can never just be a racist. I have to be a homophobic, racist, misogynist, transphobe. Like, they can never play with one piece. They have to use the entire Exodia.
I feel my brain melt at some of this bullshit. What are you talking about? Honestly, what are you talking about? A medical term used to diagnose people is now claimed to be violent. This can't be real life. They want to be victims so badly. It's so fucking crazy. You'll never see anyone defend anorexia or chain smoking like this. So why do they...
It's rough. And I think this is the wanting to be a victim thing is a huge, huge issue.
They do it for obesity. Oh, this is so fucking weird. Now, I'm not going to claim to be a medical professional by any means, because I'm really not. I only studied anatomy, physiology, and nutrition for around a year in college, right? But even with the little amounts of information I have on the subject, I still have more than enough knowledge to claim that being morbidly obese is not a good thing. It's not like a neutral body type like in a video game which has no impact on your gameplay. No, it's not like that. It's a serious medical condition and is terrible for your health. You don't even need to study anything to understand that. I feel like most people can tell what a healthy body looks like compared to an unhealthy one. As long as you have more than 2 lines on your brain, then you should be able to know this. And yet, we have these people. But not only has this ideology seeped itself onto TikTok and Twitter, but it's also seeped itself into actual medical professionals. Honestly, I wish I was joking.
If you are obese, please don't ever let a doctor or healthcare provider tell you that you need to lose weight before they investigate further a symptom that you're having.
Great point. He's totally right. That doctor is 100% right. He is totally right. Absolutely.
You have to be just a guy in a costume. Yeah. Okay? There is no way you have a medical license. Oh my days.
No, I think this was cut out of context. It was. And I think that obviously if you let him explain his point of view, that it would make perfect sense. Because there are instances where people are dismissed because, like, any problem they have is because they're overweight, and the doctors do dismiss them based off of that, and they don't do further testing. And in fact, the problem could be something different, and it's not being treated properly. This is a huge problem with diagnoses and treatment, and it's absolutely valid and completely true.
They're a medical healthcare provider provides medical healthcare. Yep. That's just ridiculous. If you are clinically diagnosed with obesity, then you should lose the weight.
Absolutely, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every other ailment that you have is a direct outcome of that obesity, right? I think that's what the person is saying, which makes sense.
Professional tells you
it seems out of context.
Then you should probably do so. A reliable medical professional who actually uses biology.
Yeah.
Not this villain.
If they want to delay getting a lab or getting imaging or having you see a specialist, they want to delay that because they say you need to wait first. You need feedback.
She's right.
Or you need to find someone.
Yeah, true.
Why? If you're obese and you're suffering from symptoms and you decide to lose the weight, there is a high possibility that those symptoms can lessen down, making treatment.
There is a possibility, but the possibility is not 100%. And I think that it's high enough to where it's worth doing a test and to check and see.
A lot easier for everyone involved. Any doctor in their right state of mind would understand this.
Because your health problems are not just blamed on your obesity,
Which is very true.
That you have.
Yeah, you graduated on Roblox, bro.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It is the case. That is absolutely true. He's right.
There's no fucking way you have a master's degree. This may be news.
Somebody brought up a really good point in chat. They said, have you ever noticed that all of the people that are promoting obesity are really young? That is interesting. Because I think that you're right. I didn't see a lot of older people that were promoting obesity. I wonder why. Maybe it's, I know why, guys. It's because older people don't use YouTube as much.
So you,
that must be the reason.
But being fat
no, that's the
is a health issue.
For sure.
And will be the cause of 99% of the problems these people have. It's like...
Not 99%, right? But, like, it's like, usually, this is like, for example, like COVID, right? Like, COVID was a really good example of a lot of the people that got killed by COVID, they were overweight. A lot of them were, right? And it's like being fat is like it's like having 5 stacks of Under Armour, okay? So, like, if you have 5 stacks of Under Armour, an attack that would maybe do, like, 100 damage to you would now do 200 damage, right? It's like a debuff, right? In PoE, it's like now you have elemental weakness. Now you have, like, reduced armor. Now you have, like, damage taken increase, right? It's a debuff. And so, if something hits you with that debuff on, well, now it's going to be doing enhanced damage.
Simple as a doctor would
yeah.
Well,
True.
Respect and dignity investigate those things.
True. Completely agree with the guy. Totally agree with him.
Yeah, but what about the main symptom that is visible? Are you serious? If this person
They're not mutually exclusive.
to your office and says, "Oh, God, my joints hurt," are you gonna say, "Oh, let me go investigate that further"? No, idiot. The problem is pretty obvious. It doesn't need much investigation. You'd like to.
Oh, they push her. Oh my god. No, bro.
You'd like to believe a medical professional would understand this, but clearly not. Jeez, man. Us evolving backwards really was an understatement. We've got people genuinely walking around thinking that there's absolutely nothing wrong with being morbidly obese. And there's even people thinking we shouldn't even say the word obese.
Well, yeah, I think that, again, like, the doctor part, I actually agree with the doctor. I think the doctor is right. And I think that there could be big issues that, obviously, obesity is like a major health problem and it should be addressed. But obesity doesn't always 100% of the time explain every symptom a person would be having. And that's why you have those other tests. Like, that's, of course, the reason why. Can we still say morbidly obese, right? For now. Yeah. Why is this topic only a thing in the USA? Because in the USA, there's a lot of identity politics issues, so people try to figure out ways to put themselves into identity groups, which is one of the reasons why I think that a lot of the people there are fat white women, is because obviously as a white person, you don't have any sort of like, marginalized identity. And I think that people like that want to have a marginalized identity. So they look for ways that they can make themselves marginalized. And so they don't have to acknowledge that they're living with the most privilege that any person has ever experienced in the history of time. But they don't want to think about that. They want to find a way to victimize themselves. That's why it happens.
Also simultaneously thinking...
And I understand that this is a very mean thing to say. Maybe I get a little bit too real here. But this is absolutely what's happening.
and everybody knows.
Nothing wrong with being obese, but if that's the case, then why shouldn't we be able to say it? I mean, is it a slur? Is it liberating? Is it fat phobic? I don't even fucking know anymore. Every time I try and understand this stuff, I just get a headache. But there you have it. Modern society. Calling people who are objectively unhealthy is now derogatory. And the word obesity should now be censored. But at the same time should be liberated and celebrated and just, I give up. Every time I come back to this plus size agenda, it just makes less and less sense. But anyways, guys, this is in fact the end of the video.
Well, it makes perfect sense if you think about it from the perspective of I'm doing everything I can to justify my behavior that I've already decided to do. So you're thinking about it from the logic of why does this make sense? But stop thinking about making sense and start thinking about making excuses, and now it makes a lot more sense.
If you liked, please leave a like, and if you didn't, then feel free to trade me in the comments. I hope my braces and newfound speech didn't affect the video too much, but if it did, then sorry about that. I'm still in my...
Somebody brings up a really good point. I'm gonna pull this one up in chat. There's actually a positive chatter. Imagine that. Being fat was a status symbol centuries back as a sign of an overabundance of resources. So unless the cause is medical, being fat is a privilege. That is actually that is an insane 4D chess. That the fact that you're overweight is evidence of your privilege. Bro, like, that's oh my god. I feel like that's a whole...
Wait a second, wait.
That's crazy.
The fuck?
My adapting phase, so I'm not fully normal just yet. But like I said earlier, I had to make this video. There was no way I was ignoring this. But yeah, hopefully next video I don't sound like fucking Timmy Turner. Well, with all that said, all my links and socials are in the description. Feel free to follow me on anything. I hope all of you guys did enjoy this video. But until next time, make sure to drink your water and get enough sleep at night. Okay, goodbye.
You know why getting overweight is one of the smartest things you can do?
Why is that?
Just imagine a zombie apocalypse and there's no food left. Overweight people keep all the food in their belly. Therefore,
Then why do you eat more?
they would live longer than people who aren't overweight.
Yeah. Good luck outrunning any living creature. There's no way to actually think that being overweight in a zombie apocalypse is a good idea. And, side note, zombies aren't real, okay? You just threw your health in the garbage for a fictional story. Doesn't get any dumber than that.
Oh god. Ain't that something, man? That's crazy. Why are you thinking about zombies, bro? Like, you being fat thinking about zombies. Rule number one of Zombieland cardio, I remember that. I watched that movie theaters. You don't understand how far the rabbit hole goes. Some fat people think that getting rid of obesity kills fat culture and they call it a fat genocide. A fat genocide. I wonder, so here's the thing, right? Let's do a thought experiment. Would I think the guy's name was Polk. I think the guy that made the polio vaccine. Would people say that he was doing a genocide of polio culture? Like if it was in today's day and age. Like I wonder, right? Because like that sounds so stupid. But that doesn't mean it can't be true. I mean, fuck. I feel like that means it probably would be true. If it benefited them, they would say literally anything. I'm sure someone, yeah. The thing with this kind of stuff to me is that I think it does do really bad damage to like young people. And you see also, by the way, the reason why there's no older fat people in these videos is because they're dead. That's why. If you get fat, you're gonna die early. And that's why all of them are like 25 or 29 or something like that. It's because they usually pop off at about 40 to 50 or so, and then, that's just the way things go. And so, why is that happening? And so, if somebody wants to do that, then I think that's their right. This is their right as an American to be 700 pounds. It is. It's their right. But the moment that you go and you start telling people that it's a normal lifestyle, that this is something that just happens to you, and basically it's the messaging of the helplessness that people have to it that I think is very unhealthy. And with any type of unhealthy behavior, whether this is drinking soda, not good for you. Drinking alcohol, not good for you. Smoking cigarettes, not good for you. Vaping, not good for you. Now, it's not that bad, but it's still not good for you. You'd be better off if you didn't do it. Other than a few things like weed, probably not good for you either. Unless it's medically needed. So, in many cases, there are a lot of things that people do that are not good for you, and the problem isn't that they do them. The problem is that they do them, and then they want to be admired for it. This is a good video. They want to be admired and celebrated for doing something. Hey, everyone. Big boss. Back. Amazing. Dressed here. Okay, so we want to activate the frame rate. Then we are going to go down. There's two guards here. There's one right there. And then there's another one here. And you can try to slam on. However, he will survive. Drop here. Hammer and kind of. Guard there on our left. He's going to be guarding an elevator. That elevator is already at the bottom. So, unfortunately, I have to. So you may not have to. See ya. Alright, there's going to be a couple guards. But you're going to walk by this ladder. This ladder is going to lead. What it effectively does is makes it so you can start from the top point of grace, and then you don't have to do the first set of drops. Just start, kill the two guards, walk across. Alright, I know. This is actually when my sword goes through and I get excited, sometimes that happens. Again, Acolyte, I don't know if they have real names. He's gonna. It's fine. He's got this, flame blade. You can also chuck a fireball, so you gotta be careful there. Here. This. Fall here and take a really big swing. Full damage.
You're standing by my house in the middle of the night. I'm not alone. Yes. Now done. Get up. kill it. Now you feel me about my house, and I'm gonna go all night. So. Cowley. Just looking like clothes that I can't. Yeah, I fucking over. Love my city, honey. Love my city, honey. She's on the phone. Oh, mother of God. I'm standing on feel me? Oh,
What's up, guys? Hope y'all are having a great day today. Just full of so much positivity and happiness, dude, because today we are going to be talking about the latest, greatest new game coming out of China, and that, of course, is Black Myth Wukong. Now, in going into Black Myth Wukong, I was not exactly excited about this game leading up to launch. Originally, when they showed it off, it looked like another Souls clone to me, which typically I'm not really interested in. I like the actual From Software Souls games, like Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and Elden Ring. All of those were fine. I have never been a fan of Souls copycat style games, so automatically I kind of wrote it off, and I did the same thing with another game called Stellar Blade. Well, rewind time a little bit, and I kind of had to eat my words with Stellar Blade. I originally thought it was going to be a Souls clone when I played the demo of the game, but come to find out it was not actually the case. So I decided I would go ahead and give the Monkey Man game a chance and see what it was like for myself when the game actually released. And leading up to release, there was a lot of people saying that this does not really play like a Souls game at all in their reviews. So I was like, alright, cool, we may have another Stellar Blade situation on our hands. So I went in with an open mind, and at first, I was really enjoying the game, honestly. I was kind of going through the bosses, not really having too much trouble. It didn't feel super sweaty or anything like that. It felt like a more relaxed action-style game akin to Stellar Blade, like I mentioned earlier. But once I got about halfway through Chapter 1 and into Chapter 2, that changed very dramatically, very quickly, and I guess the skill check phase of the game came into full swing, and this became basically yet another Souls clone. Now, I just want to say this up front, okay? I am not saying this is a bad game. Overall, mechanically, the game is actually really well done, especially considering that this is the studio's first attempt at a game of this scale and in this genre. So, round of applause for the devs. This is actually a very good first attempt game, all things considered. The problem I have with it is it's just not for me, and it's not my type of game. It's not the type of game I enjoy, and that is perfectly fine if you enjoy it, because I'm not saying the game itself is bad. It definitely has its problems, which we'll get into. But let me say it again for the motherfuckers in the back who don't have two brain cells to rub together. I am not saying this is a bad game. In fact, it's a very good game for what it's trying to be. I am just not a fan of this style of game, and it does not appeal to me personally. If you like it, that is absolutely wonderful. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Trust me, I wish I could be in the same boat with you, but maybe it's just because I'm burnt out on the genre, or maybe it's just because I'm an old motherfucker at this point. I just do not have the motivation to play this type of game if I am not having fun with it. And in the case of Black Myth Wukong, I was not having fun with it. So now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and break down some of these negatives that I have in the game. We'll get into the positives later on in the video, but YouTube negativity sells, so gotta cash that check. But here's one I think we can all agree.
okay? This is not going to be too crazy, trust me. I don't think I'm going to be canceled for saying this, but in 2024, the fact that this game does not have any sort of like local map or way to find where you are in the environment or any sort of indicators or HUD elements or anything is very annoying. Because this game is not exactly, let's just say, diverse in its environmental details, alright? It's very, very generic in a lot of the ways that the environments are crafted, and you'll run into a very common issue of where it looks like you'll be able to jump on top of something, or go up like a slope or a hill, or go explore, but in reality, it's just an invisible wall that prevents you from progressing. So in these instances, it's very easy to get turned around and not really remember where you are, because everything pretty much looks the same. There's not really any sort of indicator of how to get back to the nearest shrine. In fact, I found a lot of cases it was just easier to die and then respawn back at the shrine your last act if you got mixed up on where you exactly were inside the environment, because there's no actual penalty in that. I do actually like it with the positives, but yeah, it's just kind of obnoxious. Like, there's no reason this game doesn't have it doesn't add to the illusion like they tried to claim the Starfield, bro. Like, come on. Last games need to be taking Starfield advice when it comes to design elements. So the lack of a map in this game, I think, is a massive detriment to the experience. It would have been a very easy thing to add to just overall improve the quality of life experience with it. So, like I said, there's some genuine problems with this game that I have, not just the which I'm sure I'm going to get in the comments. So, let me just go ahead and say this, too. The camera in this game is absolutely abysmal. And it's not just the camera, it's also the lock-on system as well. Because a lot of the gimmicks in this game, in the boss fight, have to do with the boss, like, teleporting around the arena suddenly, and you have, like, a split second to react before they just absolutely decimate your health bar. So, that's very irritating. Because already the camera's kind of all over the place. You get stuck in a corner, it's basically game over, man. You cannot see anything that's going on. And on top of that, there are several enemies, the Tiger Boss being one. That has like this teleportation ability where he turns into a stone statue, and up to that point in the boss fight, he breaks out of a stone statue in like an actual animation, but at one point it switches to where the stone statue remains, and then he flies at you from across the arena in a completely random direction. But the problem is, if you have your lock on, it doesn't auto-acquire him when he reappears, so literally you have no idea where the hell he's going to be coming from. And there's several bosses that I've experienced that have a similar circumstance where you're just like, okay, what the fuck was I supposed to do there? I couldn't see where it was coming from. Like, it's just basically, it feels cheap, and it's irritating, it's frustrating, and it pisses you off. It makes you not want to play, because it's not like a skill issue. It's an issue of not even knowing what you're supposed to be reacting to and when. So you can't get good if you literally can't see something coming at you in the first place. So I think that's a massive problem. Also, at random times in the boss encounters, the lock-on system will just drop the boss for absolutely no reason whatsoever. It really just is jank, okay? Like, I can excuse that a little bit. Again, this is their first attempt with the genre, but it is irritating if you're going to have a game this difficult and the camera is that annoying. You know, From Software had to go through their learning pains on that particular problem. So again, I will extend a little bit of, I guess, charity in this particular instance in this topic. But nonetheless, it does make for a very irritating experience, especially considering just how difficult and long these boss fights are. Which brings me to my next point, and that is the general length of the main boss fights in this game. And this isn't necessarily just an issue with Black Myth Wukong. It's a problem with the entire Souls-like genre, including From Software's own games, especially in Elden Ring, which it's just the boss fights are way too long nowadays. Because if you look at the original, like, Dark Souls-style boss fights from back in the day, they were like a few minutes long at most. You were maybe dodging like 3 to 4, maybe 5 hit combos. combos, then you would get your chance to have your opening to go and attack, and you would repeat the process for a few minutes using your prior knowledge that you obtained from your previous attempts to actually defeat the boss. Nowadays, it's not only that, but it's like this form of attrition or a test of stamina, where not only do you have to memorize every single potential move that the boss does to a greater degree because they're throwing 20-hit combos at you in some cases, but they have so much health that it takes sometimes 5 to even 10 minutes to beat some of these bosses, which is just not fun, especially if you're having to do the same boss over and over and over again, because it makes that process of learning the boss even more frustrating, that you have to basically sit through 5+ minutes and then get your ass kicked eventually, only to have to do it over and over again. So I think the formula has been messed up somewhere along the line, and they're missing the plot of what made these boss fights really rewarding in the first place. It wasn't just difficulty for the sake of difficulty, it was difficulty in the sense that you had a lack of knowledge. And I think that's the biggest issue for me. It's like Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 are not hard games if you know how to play them. And this is a hard game, even if you know how to play it. So that's, I think, the issue I have with this. Is it's difficulty for the sake of difficulty, and it's not rewarding like the old Dark Souls formula used to be. And I think that's where my disconnect mainly comes from. And I've been feeling that way for a very long time in this particular genre. And it could just be I'm getting burnt out on it, and I'm getting older, and after working 8+ hours a day, going to the gym, walking my dog for 2 hours a night, and I sit down and play video games, I don't exactly just want to beat my head against the wall until I eventually get good. So maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, but that's how it feels to me. I feel like we've lost the plot somewhere along the line, and instead of having like these more simplistic bosses that actually test your knowledge of them, instead we're getting these endurance tests where basically it's whether or not you can hit the perfect button prompts for 5 to 10 minutes in order to slowly whittle down the boss's health. I'm just personally not. Again, it may just be me. Maybe I'm completely off base. Maybe it's just old man yelling at the clouds. But that's just how I feel playing these games. I never felt that way playing the older Dark Souls games. Even Dark Souls 3, I went back and played a little bit recently before the Elden Ring DLC came out, and I was not feeling that way either. Like, I don't know. I feel like the plot has been lost somewhere along the line. Instead of just making bosses more difficult due to the lack of player knowledge, or just basically making torture porn and boss porn. But hey, you know, there's obviously a market for that. People like this game, and people like games like it. So I'm not taking anything away from it. All I can say is it is not. Which brings me to another complaint that I have, and this is especially related to boss fights, but you have these special abilities in the game, which I actually do like the special abilities overall. I think they're really cool. But an issue with them is in boss fights, you can't use them when you want. You have to wait until very specific windows appear in order to use a certain ability on certain bosses, which I'm not really a fan of. This is particularly prevalent in time abilities, where you're supposed to be able to freeze an enemy in place and be able to get some hits off on them, or maybe heal if you need to. It basically gives you a pause in time to move, you can deal some additional damage, or use some items, or whatever you need to do. But the problem is, certain bosses just like instantaneously counter. Doesn't matter what they're doing. They can be mid-combo, they can be mid-attack, they can be doing anything. They will immediately counter it. They will just completely shut off their combo, shut down their swing, whatever it might be, and immediately block it, completely nullifying that ability, which is a massive, just basically kicking the balls when you're doing these boss fights. And it's very irritating, because there's no way for you to cancel out their ability. They can immediately stop everything they're doing, including animation cancel and lockout moves. So that was absolutely infuriating. And it just added to the fact that you just basically have to sit there and wait and wait and wait and dodge and dodge and dodge until you finally get your opening. And then maybe you can actually do what you want to do like that. So it just adds to the feel like you have boss fights. This isn't a thing in every boss fight, but the more major bosses can cancel out all of your abilities basically. I'm not a fan of it, especially when these abilities have cooldown timers, which can dramatically change the flow of your experience in the boss fight. So the way I look at it is, if you have the ability, you should be able to use it whenever the fuck you want. Like a boss should not be able to do an animation cancel out of a 10-hit combo.
decide, yep, I'm going to use this specific ability that counters your freeze ability, and it's just irritating. I don't know. It feels cheap. It's another thing that just feels unfair. Like, the bosses already are overwhelmingly more powerful than you, and it's just another kick in the balls. It makes you feel like you're even more tough in that particular situation. But I think that's the majority of my negatives for the most part. Really, like, I'm not too negative on this game. I just can identify it's not for me. But everything else I like. Like, I think the story, from what I saw, now keep in mind, I know nothing about Chinese mythology, but from what I glimpsed, I actually have somewhat of an interest in going and researching Chinese mythology now, because it kind of looks badass, I'm not going to lie. Like, the story that's there is actually pretty cool, man. Like, I'm actually intrigued. I think it's interesting. The opening scene of the game is fucking awesome and gives you a glimpse at what this game could possibly be, maybe later on down the line, but right now, holy shit, is it sweaty. So, it just, maybe that's the reason why, too, is like, at the beginning of the game, it doesn't feel like it does when you get to the point in chapter 2 that I'm at. It just feels like more of a fun action game, kind of aligned with Stellar Blade, for example. And the point I'm at in the game now just feels like an ultra sweaty Souls game. And I mean, maybe now that I think about it, that's why it's so polarizing. You start off with like this incredible high, and then you just crash down back to reality and you feel super underpowered. So maybe that's what it is too. But you can glimpse that this game is actually really fun to think about. It's more of an action game than the Souls. But going back to the story, I mean, I know nothing, so keep that in mind. But from what I've seen, it's interesting. I think the character designs are really cool. I think for the most part, the environments are well done. They all look distinct. But within each like specific environment, it's very generic. So you can tell budget was not put towards the actual environment of the game, which I think is fine. You know, you can tell this is a first attempt game. It's not an infinite budget AAA game, which again, perfectly okay. I think we need more games like that. So the gameplay is obviously the main focus, but the story that is there, and I guess the surrounding lore, is interesting enough for me to want to do some independent research. So I think that is a great sign, and it's definitely not Dark Souls style storytelling. Thank God. It actually seems to have a legitimate story, so that is great. Yes, me. The soundtrack is fine for what it is. It's not anything super memorable. It definitely has the Chinese influence to it at times, but yeah, it's okay. It's serviceable. Not really a big deal. I think graphically it looks great. I was playing it on PlayStation 5. I didn't have any sort of performance issues during my time playing it that I noticed. Everything looked good. You do kind of get that weird kind of effect where like the edges of objects kind of pixelate, or I guess turn into like little particles, which is pretty prominent in a lot of Unreal Engine games, I think it is. But yeah, that's nothing new. And again, this is not one of those infinite budget AAA games, so I'm not going to hold that against them either. But I think the game looks and runs very well on console, to say the least. I think they did a good job with that. I actually bought this game on console because they didn't send out review copies for the PlayStation version, so there was that speculation that the game was going to run like absolute shit, so I figured I would buy that version so I could warn people if that was the case. You know, just in case we had another Cyberpunk 2077 situation on our hands. But luckily, that is not the case, and I do not have to report bad news. In fact, the console version of this game runs very well. I have heard the PC version is kind of a mess technically, which is kind of par for the course, unfortunately, for modern PC ports. But yeah, the console version for the most part runs very well, and I don't really have any sort of complaints on that front. And I will say, like, the gameplay of this game, I know I bitched a lot about the boss fight and everything like that, but overall, I do really like the gameplay. I think the animations look awesome, the different abilities you have access to are amazing. I love the fact that when you die, you don't have to go pick up your souls or the equivalent or whatever, like all that progression just carries with you. I think that's a nice quality of life improvement, personally. It makes, I guess, grinding a lot better, and also, you know, in the case of this game, since you don't have the map, you get lost, you have an enemy kill you, and then you teleport to the place you're resting at last. So I guess that's a nice kind of get out of jail free part. There's no real navigation assistance in this game whatsoever, so if you ever get turned around, it's easy to just die, then stumble around the environment for an hour. So I think that's definitely good. I like that aspect of the game. But I think the core gameplay mechanics are phenomenally well done, man, and that's kind of why I'm torn on this, because I really do want to like it. Like, I can see myself maybe in a different life, a younger me, someone with more free time they're looking to fill. I actually can see myself really enjoying this game eventually, or maybe, dare I say it, if it had an easy mode, yeah, no, fucking mention.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I can see why people like this. I get it. I completely understand. Just as things sit right now, it's not for me. I mean, maybe I'll give this another few shots or whatever, but I don't really see it changing much in all honesty. Because, like, maybe I get past the boss and stuff on, and then I get to another boss, and I'm in the exact same scenario. It's like, do I really want to keep doing that over and over again for the limited free time I have every single night to play video games? And the answer most likely is no, especially considering all of the games we have coming out in the next few weeks, like Visions of Mana, Space Marine 2, which was absolutely fucking awesome, man. I cannot wait to get that game. You know, games like Astrobot, you know, fun, just kind of like short burst games you can pick up and play for a few hours every night, and just have a good time. I mean, that's kind of the point in life I'm at right now. And again, maybe in a different life, at a different time in my life, whatever, I could really enjoy Black Myth Wukong. But as things sit right now, for me personally, I'm just not having fun with it, and I'm not motivated to actually finish the game. I mean, again, I'll probably give this a few more shots. I mean, I already paid for the game, so I might as well play more of it, you know, until something else comes out that we can cover. But yeah, let me know in the comment section your thoughts on Black Myth Wukong, if you're enjoying it or not. I would say overall, if I had to give this game a rating, I would say that it's like a 7, which on my scale, a 7 is like a great, so 5 is average, 6 is good, 7 is great. I think for what it is, it's a very, very solid game. In this particular instance, it's just not for me. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Hit that like button if you made it this far. I'm sure this video is going to get absolutely bombarded with dislikes. I don't really care. Thank you for your engagement. It helps me recoup the cost of the game. But anyway, guys, with that shit said, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video and for all the reasons support. You guys are the fucking best, and I really appreciate it. And with that said, I will catch you guys next time. Oh, and if you're looking for a fun action game, go play Stranger in Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, or Stellar Blade instead.
Well done.
No. This is what I'm looking at. The game I wanted from another studio since Dark Souls 2 came out. This is it. This is the one. This is it. People who don't think that this is it will never be satisfied by any game they've ever played in their entire life. This is it. This is the one. I can kiss this game. I want to fucking record. I want this game in my DMs. Alright? If this game peaks beyond this moment, I will cry.
Hey!
The Soul series is loosely classified as an action RPG, and they rapidly became an incredibly popular subgenre in the video game. Starting with Demon's Souls back in 2009 and developed by From Software and arguably perfected in 2011 with Dark Souls, which, lest we forget, for all of the rabid Souls fans who just saw the title of this video and are already seething at the mouth of the overflowing washing machine. It won the ultimate game of all time at the Golden Joysticks Award in 2021. Souls-likes as a subgenre have a countless number of reiterations from a number of different studios, all based on that original game from Software. From Software has since released essentially like 2 sequels to the original Dark Souls game, with Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and since experimented with the initial game's formula with Bloodborne, Sekiro, and finally came back full circle by returning to the Dark Souls formula paired with a massive No matter what, though, the genre always comes back to what Demon Souls began with, which is a large emphasis on enemy-led combat, tough enemies, grueling boss fights, excellent intricate level design, and in my opinion, a great emphasis on exploration and obtuse quests. My history of Souls games is rather weird, but I was right there from the beginning. I had an old friend of mine who was trying to get me to play Demon Souls, which they got me, and it was an attitude that I would love. But I was confident that I wouldn't, because at that time, I didn't really get and especially ones that looked this. But after reluctantly making the character, it was literally a random assortment of letters because I was confident I would give up the game under the power.
Oh, God.
Even though really I and to me, I was having more fun with a video game that I had had for roughly 5 years.
Awesome
I
power.
eventually bought the game for myself and somehow managed to beat what I skipped, unquote, Dark Souls. Dark Souls, all of its small and the game that is honestly still so impressive that shit. That is that I actually didn't finish it for literally any other Souls game in 2019. But once I finally got the confidence to actually beat one of these fucking games later in my life, I became obsessed again and have since beaten all of the games at least 10 times, despite my dislike of Dark Souls. And I have since beaten all of the monsters across the catalog with the exception of hard to actually but it has now it's that people little shit on my spout